Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. We're so excited. This has been so much fun. We're already on webinar 3. I was at school today and just couldn't wait to get on here and talk about more little tips and tricks, and especially because I have my two friends with me today. And so in a few minutes, we'll get started. And today we're going to talk about collection development. So that's always fun. So we're glad that you're here. I love seeing how many people are getting on, and we'll use the chat in a minute, but feel free to say like where you're from. And I know a lot of you have been coming to all of them, but it's okay. You can introduce yourselves again and put where you are today and say how the weather is. It's actually like I think it's about 58 degrees, I think I saw. So we're finally getting into not 90 degrees for the fall. So here in Iowa, it's definitely changing a bit, which I love.
We're still at 90 in Texas.
90.
Jamie, we had 90 degrees like the early part of last week,
Oh,
which is
goodness.
insane. And like, my brother is a farmer, and so combining in like 90-degree weather is not very fun with all
No.
the heat and dust. And so we're really grateful. And this weekend is Hawkeye football with Hagen, so it has to be a little cooler. Otherwise, the game's no fun.
It was
It's like
56 this morning, though.
Oh,
it was
that's
very nice.
good.
56, yeah.
I love that. I mean, it's perfect. I love it. Well, everybody, it is 4 o'clock Central Time, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Keep using the chat as you come in to share where you're from, and you can share what you do or how the weather is. Use that as a place to have conversations because we really want this to be interactive and fun for everyone as we learn together. But we're glad that you're here. This is webinar 3 of our Capstone Library Tips, Tricks, and Treats. And today we're going to be talking about collection development. So I'm really excited about that. Just remember that the webinar recording and the slides are going to be sent out within the week along with your certificate of participation. So you'll have everything. And we have been sending those out as a PDF and also just as a link. We're going to share that too at the end. So you'll have access to all of these things. But like I said, use the chat to share your questions and your thoughts. And also just join the conversation that is online at Capstone Pub. So if you have anything to share, you can share that too on Instagram or on Twitter. Well, not Twitter anymore, or on Blue Sky. So feel free to share there too. My name is Shannon McClintock Miller. I am the district teacher librarian at Van Meter Community School, and I also serve as the Future Ready Librarians Leader and Capstone Champion and author. You can find me on X and Instagram at Shannon M. Miller, and I blog at the Library Voice. And today I'm really excited because two of my friends get to join me and share with you all kinds of things about collection development too. So Jenny, take it away.
Hi, I'm Ginny Boughter. I've been a librarian for 13 years, and right now I'm in Magnolia ISD, and my doorbell is ringing because somebody wants to come to the library, but I'm gonna hope that they either open it or figure it out. I love being a librarian. It's the greatest ever. I have been in lots of school districts, and so I'm coming into a library that has been, I don't want to say the word neglected, but it's been um, gone through, like, the kids think they get a new librarian every year is what it's like right now. So I have been working hard to try to reignite the passion that the kids have for the library and work on a collection that hasn't had a librarian taking care of it for a while. So I'm excited about that challenge this year.
Sounds like a good job. You'll do great. And Jamie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jamie Garcia, and this is the start of my 16th year as a capstone representative. They have been one of my companies that I've been working with. I've also known Ginny for about, I think, 13 years now. Ginny, at least over 10 years. Ginny is one of my customers, one of my librarians that I work closely with. So I've been with Capstone for a very long time. I am very familiar with a lot of the publishers and distributors and vendors. I also love Pebble Go. It's been with me. And again, I started 16 years ago. So right about the time that Pebble Go was starting. And I also have a 3.5-year-old that loves to use Pebble Go. And I wanted to shout out two of her favorite articles right now are Barracudas and the Mucus article out of Pebble Go Next. So that's what we're currently learning about at home.
Oh, Isla.
Mhm.
I love it. Well, like I said, we're just really happy that you're here for our 4-week capstone webinar series for all school librarians. And this is our third one. We have one more next week. And at the end, I'll share too where to find the first two if you haven't been part of that. Now, what I always love to do is think about what we did in our last webinar. And in webinar 2, Tim and I challenged you to try one new way to advocate for your library in your program. And so in the chat, I would love it if you would share what you did by dropping it in there. And it can be something that maybe you did the last few weeks, or maybe something that you're just doing this year that you want to share. But everybody can use that just to celebrate and share and just continue that conversation in the chat. And we'll give you another challenge at the end too. There's also going to be one lucky winner that we will announce at the end of the webinar today. And then the grand prize winner will be announced, and everyone who attends all 4 of the webinars will be entered to win a special grand prize, a Halloween party pack. So I can't even wait to see who wins that. That's going to be really fun too. So today we're going to talk about getting strategic about your collection and learning just some amazing tips and tricks. And I'm excited because I too have known Jamie for a very long time. And Jenny, I don't even know how long I've known you, but I've met you a few times and heard about you. And I love all the work that the two of you do. So I'm excited today to share about collection development. But we're going to start just by talking about what collection development is. And maybe this is something that is completely new to you if you're starting out in your library, but collection development is defined as the ongoing process by libraries and information centers to collect, acquire, and manage physical and digital materials to meet the needs of our users. And in every library, I am in a library in Iowa where I work with preschool to 12th grade. And so it might look different for other people and other places or even other libraries. And it's something too that when we think about like creating our collection, we have policies around it. We have things that we have criteria in place. And these are things that we need to think about in collection development that will bring it all together. As school librarians too, and it was really exciting because I was at AASL last week and they have made some updates to the National School Library Standards. But within Curate, we can find that that's the place where we can, really think about like how we are collecting and organizing and sharing these resources. And I think that curation, not only what we do on our shelves, but even how we put together things online with our collection development efforts. And then the most exciting thing that happened last week at AASL was the new Future Ready Librarians Framework 3.0 came out. And I'm excited about this because even though it has always included literacy and curation, looking at that, it now includes literacies. And when we look at this, not only protecting the freedom to read, but thinking about how we give our kids access to diverse, inclusive, and superb like print and digital resources. And this is something that really can help us in that collection development, having those conversations with our administrators and our stakeholders, and how important it is to just continue to really think about that when we think about collection development and our libraries and our students. Another thing is promoting multiple literacies. I think that really ties into collection development too, because we're focusing on not just literacy as reading, but how are we supporting media, information, news? This week is Digital Citizenship Week, AI, financial, and all of those different literacies that come together. And then, of course, curating digital resources. And just as we see in ASL, within Future Ready, we also really focus in that curriculum instruction assessment piece, how we select and organize and share those resources. If it's in our library or if it's online, like both of those things are just as important to us as librarians. The new framework can also be found at the link below, and I'm so excited for everybody to see it. So I hope you take a look and download it, and there'll be lots coming out about that in the new year.
So whenever I am in a library, people always get confused about how, not people, but teachers. They're always like, why are you getting rid of this? Why is this happening? And I always tell them that a library is like a closet, because you're not going to keep everything that you've always worn in your entire life. It's not an archive, it's not a museum. Okay, we have to get rid of old things to bring new things in. And so that's what I tell people when they see me boxing up stuff, because that always makes everyone nervous. But I tell them you have to clean it up to make it new. Some styles are classic, they last forever, but you need things. You got to get rid of these pants that don't fit you anymore. Okay, get something new. So you have to take consideration of your student demographics. I came from a school that is very different from the one I'm at now. And so I'm having to rethink about, what do these students need versus the kids that I was just at. I have a much smaller budget. And we have in Texas all of our new state and district standards and policies that we have to follow in order to get books. Student interests are very different here than where I was. The collection has many holes in it, and there are books that don't circulate anymore. And I don't know how long it's been since someone weeded. So like, I'm very excited to start weeding so that I can start bringing in new things.
I love weeding. So the next thing is looking at how we go about collection development.
So one of the things that Jenny and I work a lot on together at her schools is really taking a look at what is on her shelves. Jenny is absolutely there to know, like she said, what her student interests are, what her teachers are asking her for throughout the day. But there are some things as her capstone rep that I can also help her with. And so one of the things that I always say we need is the information. We need the data. We need to know not only what is on your shelves, but what your state and national standards are as well. So this is an example for Texas, but your state should have recommended state library standards. I do believe that AASL also has some as well. So this is just an example of what the Texas state standards look like, and it will give you information like, oh, sorry, Shannon, the next one. It will give you information to look at for things like the age of the collection, how many books per student you should have, digital resources per student, and what the recommended budget is. As you can see, these standards are kind of in a progressive model. So it's going to designate your library based on your collection analysis, whether you are in an improvement needed, developing, proficient, accomplished, or a distinguished library. So you could see that previous one was all about how your collection age. So recommended collection age, that refers to what Jenny was saying when she knows physically when she walks the shelves, these books probably need to be weeded, but which ones do? The collection analysis and these standards will help you, again, with things like budget and how big that collection should be. So how many books per student should you have in your collection? So the way that you can get this information is through your library management system. If you are using something like Destiny, you have access to Follett TitleWise. So things like that. You can also run an analysis through your vendor's collection analysis. With Capstone, we have a tool called Collection Whiz, and that's going to give you a couple of different things in addition to your library management system reports. So it's going to give you different viewpoints and data points. Collection Whiz with Capstone just might give you a few different, again, data points than TitleWise would. So would another vendor, just depending on what data they put behind that. What's really impactful is when Jenny and I are working on that feed portion of the weeding, when we're looking at putting books back into her collection, we know with this collection analysis report, Collection Whiz, that we're not going to be duplicating anything that's already in her library. Like she mentioned, we've got some Texas state rules now and some policies, so we can use that in the reverse to see what books are in other libraries' collections that we might want to add to her collection as well. So when you are looking at your Collection Whiz or your TitleWise, you're going to want to compare your data. So it's going to give you your average collection age, which then you can go to your state or national standards and compare and see where you fit on that progression. So here, this is not Jenny's school. This is just an example of an elementary school. You can see
done my
average
school. That would have
age.
helped me.
It's about, well, we're gonna run one. Yep. So the average age is 2010, and you can see that the collection age is developing if it's more than 16 years old. So we're going to get that, move that library towards more of a proficient or an accomplished library copyright age there. We also see that we need to beef up and add more books to the collection in order to get that overall title per student ratio up as well. So what do you do with all that information? Information is power. You use this information to write for grants. You use it to create a proposal. This is that back pocket proposal. Everybody's dream of the PTO, PTA, your principal coming in and saying, hey, what do you need today, right? That's your back pocket proposal. And you say, we only have so many books per student, and we should be here if we want to be a proficient library. Our library is over 15 years old in copyright information, and we need to add this many books in order to increase our copyright. And this is how much money that I need in order to increase all of those standards and get us to a more proficient library there. So giving yourself a project statement, creating yourself something like a proposal when you go to do your collection analysis can be very helpful for justifying funding in the future.
One thing too that I think about is how big a part of like collaborating with teachers is collection development. And especially, it always has been, but especially as maybe we go to like we've adopted science of reading or other curriculums, even in like social studies. And I get emails every single day from my teachers asking me to help with their classroom collections. And I'm so grateful for that. And so it becomes a big part of what we do, not only on their shelves and in the shelves of our library, but it becomes part of our curriculum plans, and even then tying it into things like choice boards where we can add in nonfiction books. The book of the week that week was Frog and Toad Are Friends, and then even tying in like Pebble Go. And so it's really, that part has been so fun for me just to be able to collaborate with them in their classrooms. But then, like I said, to take that into the library and making displays like this where we are intentionally putting things together, where we're curating things, we're working on the collection development maybe in a certain like spot that they have, but our kids love Pebble Go animals. I'm sure that all of you, if you have Pebble Go, they do. And now we have Pebble Go Next Animals, which I love, and then bringing our books around that. And so even how we catalog books is a lot different because we are really, you can't really see it, but on even the spine, they have little Pebble Go and Pebble Go Next labels on them. And so really thinking about like how we're doing that with our collection development and thinking thoughtfully about that too. Then we think about what's next, the physical part of collection development, and probably one of my favorite things. And Jenny, I can tell it's one of yours too.
Yes, this is my library right now. And so there are some things that I need to address. So first off, we have like some super packed shelves. And in our library standards, there are like standards for how much room you should have because these books need to be able to breathe. And they're not breathing right now. There's some very outdated signage. And I have a pair who comes to help me. And it's her first year helping in this library. And we all just stand around and talk about how much we want to change things, because as you can see in the picture, the dog book on the picture does not match the label on the spine, and that kind of stuff just makes me crazy. So we got mismatched labels, we have outdated signage. This is a picture of our shelves, which are 5 feet tall. Now, I don't know if you've met a child in elementary school, but they're not 5 feet tall. So this poor kiddo is trying to reach a book and she can't even reach up there. And also, I don't know what's happening on the other side of those shelves. And so it's just not real safe. It's not accessible. And so I'm writing a grant to get some shelves. And I went into my library standards and I pulled up the accessibility and safety of the Texas state standards. And I stuck that in my grant proposal because this is just not going to work.
Good job. Yeah.
It needs
that's a
weeding.
good point.
And the nonfiction is dusty, dusty, dusty because no one's touching any of the books. So these are all my things. There's like 3 bug books down here. I don't know why we need a box of bug books if there's 3 of them. So these are all things I'm trying to address for this collection. So I got a plan for writing a grant for new shelves. I have a plan for weeding. I want to relabel all the books on the shelves and then fill these holes in this collection. This is the library. As I walked in, it's not very exciting or student friendly. It feels dark to me. It feels just, it needs some life because it is just plain sad.
It's a nice big space though.
It's a great space. It just needs someone to come in here and love it for more than 1 year. Yeah. So my goal is having it to be very student friendly, clearly labeled, easy to browse and easy to shelve. So the grant I am writing is for some of these browsing bins that you see here on the left side, right side. I don't know how it looks on the screen, but this friend is, can reach the shelves and see them. The nonfiction books are labeled clearly so you can tell what they are. Right now, some are handwritten, some are pictures. It's a hot mess. So that's what I'm working on. This is my previous library that I spent 6 years at. So I worked really hard to make sure that it was a place where if kindergarten was using the nonfiction, it was not inaccessible to them because there were pictures, it was clearly labeled, and it was so easy for them to find what they needed.
Another thing too, like just thinking about our library, and we're getting ready next year to go into our new library that they're building right now. And so we're in a pretty small space, and we also share it with STEM in this small space. It's the old music room, but we do what we can. And we're actually using even like office shelves, not even really proper library shelves. And so that was a chore, but I found these cool like magnetic things that really helped like how we organize. And thank goodness for Canva, because that's been so great to be able to really help us with some of the things that we've done in our library and just making it, a place that the kids want to go and that they can find books really easily. One thing that has also been great, and this has really helped too with our collection development, because I can see a little bit better. Like today, our kindergartners came and I even watched and talked to them, like what they were picking out from these little baskets. And in our new library, we'll have browsing bins too, Jenny. So I'm excited about those. And it will be great. But these have been great too, just these little baskets from Walmart, and got some things that I found in my drawer and again made them in Canva, just, really simple, and made them and laminated them, and then not only have a space for them in like the maybe like early chapter books, but even putting browsing bins in different spots, like in our nonfiction, or maybe bringing things together in our graphic novels or holidays. And that's really made a difference. And again, it makes me see like what the kids want to read, where the gaps are, like your bug books, Jenny, like things like that, like little things. It really does, though, draw your attention to what is needed and what the kids like, and where kind of those gaps and how you can fill them too. And this is it's really my only end shelf that I have right now, but being able to highlight, I love the new Brain Candy books from Capstone. And so we have this little display at the bottom, and just it's been so fun. Like I heard even the kindergartners today talking about the books and calling them, the brain candy books and looking for them. But I love being able to highlight special things because the kids, they have so much ownership too in the collection. And that really helps me when I'm working on, orders or reading reviews or talking to the kids and teachers, like listening to that too. Another thing that we did, and it's funny, Jenny, that you said this. This is before we relabeled all of our books, but one of the first things that we did, even in our small little library, is we started thinking even about like how we could help the kids locate things even more. And we used to, when we first started and we got rid of Dewey and we totally genreified, we use the old dots from our AR test because in our books, because we didn't use them anymore, made our own labeling system. And now we have really great labels that we have made, and they all have pictures that go along. But, thinking, really thinking like thoughtfully about how you are organizing things and how the kids are finding them, it does make a difference. I love this next part because we get to hear how Capstone can help. And I love all the ways that Jamie helps her people and also helps me too.
Yeah. So like I said, Shannon said, your capstone rep, you do have a direct capstone rep. They might be local in person, they might be virtual, but you do have somebody that is here to support you as a direct representative of the company. We can meet with you. Jenny and I meet to look at books in person. Sometimes we meet virtually, just depending on the year and what we've got going on. But it's just a chance that we can sit down, we can browse the catalog, we can talk about that collection analysis, we can browse her shelves, we can see those holes, and then I can make recommendations to her about all of our lovely new bug books that we have. We're again really looking at that collection analysis, and then we're working to fit in all of our direct promotions where you can get free books. I think I saw a question about that, about shrinking budget sizes and the increasing cost of books. Capstone does have direct promotions with them. And then we're curating lists that support against local EFB policies or state legislation. Again, I know Jenny's community. She actually moved to my town here, so we're in the same community now. But that's something that I can definitely help her with. And then, of course, ensuring that all of the back-end support is there. Your shipping, your processing, making sure that your processing specifications are done correctly. And then digital support if you have any Pebble Go or ebooks. Jenny and I have worked on lots of fun programming ideas in the past, just to really bring visibility to those digital programs. And then you get, all of the direct materials that we have, like our posters and our bookmarks and all of those things. So just a really personalized support when you meet someone and you get that connection and you end up having somebody that you've been working with for over a decade, that, you can really collaborate with, and their community and they know you.
One of the super fun things I've done in the past with Jamie is I started a student-led purchasing team when I was working in Spring Branch ISD a million years ago. I chose a group of kiddos who were my team. They were a mix of fourth and fifth graders, and we had meetings where first thing they did is they had iPads. They got a form on the iPad that they took to the cafeteria and the hallways in the morning, and they polled kids, and they had a list of all of these choices for kinds of books that they were interested in. So they asked kindergarten, they asked first graders, they asked all the kids, and it created basically an idea sheet for those kiddos to work off of when we met with Jamie, who brought catalogs of Capstone books and other vendors. And so we laid them all out, and here's a picture of them looking through, making wish lists. So I told them what the budget was. We made a spreadsheet. They made their lists of their books. And as you can see, they have papers of the results of the surveys that they took of all the kids. So we really had to talk about, like, you can't circle everything in the book, which is of course what they wanted to do. We had to talk about like what our priorities were, what our budget was, and then we ordered them. And when they came in, they processed the books. They put the labels on. They made displays to promote the books. It was so fun. I'll get that
Absolutely.
going one day. So the way Capstone is going to support me is in Texas, we have to have all of these things to build our book list. We can't just say, here's what we want to buy. We have to have the ISBN, we have to have the reading levels, we have to have author, illustrator. If it's a nonfiction book, it has different rules from fiction books. It's a lot, it's very complicated. But what your rep can do is, you know, I can do my collection, my collection whiz through Jamie, and she's going to see what I'm missing. And according to my policies, I have to have all these things. So she's going to make sure that when I get my list, I have all of the important things so that I don't have to spend my time doing that. Like, it's going to save a ton of time when you work with your rep. And though I'm at a new school, so I'm in a new school in a new district, I've been using Capstone for years. So my Capstone points, because I'm buying direct from them, I'm not buying my Capstone books through Follett, I'm buying them direct from Capstone. So I'm accumulating points. And so I get to use those points when I want to buy things I need that I don't have in my budget. My budget comes from book fair. Like, we don't have a district budget. In my old district, they were like, you get X number of dollars per child. Here's your budget every year. Now it's like, good luck. I hope you have a great book fair. That is your budget. So luckily I'm at a school that, you know, does pretty well in the book fair, but I'm also trying to buy tables and furniture and, you know, things for the library that they haven't had in a while. So my budget really fluctuates. So when I'm in a pinch, I can use my Capstone points to get those books that I really need for these kids, especially more bug books, apparently, because we have 4
Bug books.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to make a quick mention that student-led purchasing, Capstone does an absolutely wonderful job of supporting me and the other reps across the country. And that was something that we were trained on and introduced to over 10 years ago from Andy Plemons in Georgia. So that is just something that Capstone exposed me to. I brought back to Houston. I talked to Jenny about it and we said, let's do it. We have a lot of those ideas around collaboration for things like these Pebble Go scratch off cards. Jenny made these again like 10 years ago. They were just acrylic paint and Dawn dish soap. She covered up the Pebble Go where she wanted kids to come in and say like, I don't know what I want to research today, or what should I look at? Grab a card, scratch it off, go and research that in Pebble Go. So these are the updated versions. I used created in them in Canva based off of the Pebble Go articles that we have. You could also apply these to genres, like having students read throughout the genres or put names of new books behind them so that students can scratch off just lots and lots of ideas that you can use here. So again, we learn from our librarians. So thank you, Jenny, and to the team that created these originally, because I've been sharing them with more librarians recently and they've been loving them. So lots of scratch offs going on because of all these connections and collaborations.
I love that. Love that idea. Well, so many great things that the two of you shared. And I think it's one of the most exciting parts of being a librarian is really the books that we're putting into our kids' hands, right? And I think it's exciting not only for our kids but for our teachers and our families. And it means everything to our readers. And so thank you for sharing all those great ideas. And we'll open it up for maybe a question or two, but we'll also be able to see everybody's questions and we'll get to you too. A few helpful resources. A few years ago in Knowledge Quest, they had a whole edition devoted to collection development and so many great things. It's one that I shared and I go back to often. And so I put a link in the slide to that Knowledge Quest because that's a great one to refer to. I also wanted just to show you a few things on the Capstone site and also on Tidal Wave from Follett. Capstone, of course, you can go and find everything you need on the site. It's great because you can go on there. I love finding like always the new catalog and new things that you can find. And also like the hot titles right now, they have the just the right amount of scary books, which is great. And then they have a page too for promotions, and Jenny and Jamie talked a little bit about that. So that's a great place to go. And just, I think recently, like a few days ago, they added a clearance section, which is really great. So at the top, you can now see the little clearance section where you can find over 900 books that are like $10 and under. I think a lot of them are like around $8 or so. And so that is a great place. And you can even use just the search, and you can use an advanced search and really like dig into what exactly you're looking for. Jenny probably have bug books here, so you can go there and find some. And then in Tidal Wave 2, one of my favorite places to go as well is to be able to find so many things from different publishers. If you're looking for maybe like last month, it was so great because they had a couple great places to go for Hispanic Heritage Month. This one is, I loved the little sports books that they had. So just so many great places to be able to go. And then you can, like, as you scroll down on that front page, you can find so many different ways that you can browse by like topic, but also great giveaways. And so right now they have a special for two of the books that they're trying to sell for the Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Dogman, which my kids can't wait. But right under that, they have a little seasonal giveaway from Capstone. So make sure that you guys all put your name in for that, because lots of great books and some of my favorites. I love The Bold Pumpkin Plan. That's probably one of my favorite Capstone books ever. So I
I
love,
list too.
oh, I love that. It's so good. So make sure you guys fill that out too. And Tidal Wave, just like Capstone, is free. So it's great to be able to go there and find all those resources. But as we wrap up today, just remember that every decision we make in collection development has the power to inspire and empower and connect our readers. And when I think about sitting there and doing, all the hard work we do around collection development, just think about, again, what it means to your readers. And so we just need to continue to build collections with purpose and ones that reflect our communities and spark curiosity and definitely make a lasting impact on our readers. So I can't wait to see what everybody does. I have a little challenge for you, but it's 4:35. Why don't we take like two questions, Gina? Does that sound good?
Yes, I will do the questions that we got, quite a few of the same ones. So one that came up a
Okay.
few times was um, the grants. People were asking, how do we get access to that? What do we look for? Where do we search for grant funding?
My district has an educational foundation, so that's what I'm writing my grant through. But look in your community for, what state you're in. Your state library association also has grants. You can, in Texas, we have HEB. HEB has grants for teachers. Like, you would be very surprised where you can find money. It's out there, but you do a Google search, and you just grants for, and if you're like, you're a library, but you can also think teacher wise. Like, I consider myself a teacher as well. So like, anywhere, if they can, what are they going to do? Tell you no? You just have to ask for it. If they tell you no, then move on and look someplace else. But yeah, you'll be surprised what they have out there.
Another great place to look for grants too is to Follett. Tidal Wave has a grant site, and they have tons of grants that you can find. And so check that out too, because there's you can even put in like where you're located and also look for like national grants as well.
And your state library might have something posted as well, your state library website.
Another question that came up a few times was around time. How do you find the time to do all of this? What is your weekly schedule? How do you fit this in? Being the only employee in the library, where do you find the time to do all of this?
It's definitely not something that happened in 1 year.
No.
It's a process for sure. And so like, I really prioritize my time. Like, I'm on the specials rotation. So I have 5 45-minute classes a day, and then I have like a conference period, and then I have a couple breaks here and there. So I really have to focus. Like I have to make a list. Today I am going to go to the picture books and I am going to scan 2 shelves to see what books haven't been checked out. Running a report will save you time. So I have a piece of paper, and when I have a paraprofessional come in who has 5 minutes, I literally hand her my spreadsheet from Follett and I say, can you go find these books for me? And they pull the books off the shelf for me. Like I have in the past had a hard time delegating tasks to other people, but if I have them already, I can just hand it like a substitute. They come to the library, here you go. Can you find these books for me on the shelf? Like I'm just, I have a plan.
Well, and that is an easy thing to, I always have found, had really good luck with when parents want to help or when somebody wants to help. It is a great way to have volunteers help because that's something that if you have a plan in place and you have a list and you have even like, I'm lucky because I work in a school with preschool to 12th grade. And so I have like a senior who is a cadet, and my cadets, I always take cadets because that's a great thing. They can put stickers on books, they can change things, they can do all kinds of things that, you want them to help with. And so don't be afraid to ask for help
Yeah, and
because
if your high schools have honor societies, like
yes,
you'll send kids over to help you.
heck yeah, because they want their points and like our students, every student to graduate, they have to have so many points now. And so it's a great way for them to volunteer.
And yeah, I'm staying after school sometimes too. That's just
Yeah, and
how it
that's
is.
yeah. In summer, yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It's just reality. And I think that also it's really important to have some of those things in place, like like when you're advocating for time too with your principals, um, pulling things from AASL or the Future Ready Librarian Framework and giving them some like information and evidence and some concrete like reasons why you need time, like why your whole day doesn't need to be filled, with back to back to back classes and giving you some time, even if it's getting a substitute teacher for a few days or whatever it might be. If you have a project,
Mhm.
you have to like show them why, like advocate for that to be able to really prove why you need that. And those things will help, those pulling in what your state does or ASL, the Future Ready Librarian Framework, even your own policies and plans will really help too.
Mhm.
I love that. Thank you, Gina. And I know that there's probably more questions, but we'll make sure that if there is, we will get them answered and we have everybody's email. And so we'll make sure that we take care of those too. And feel free to reach out to us too. But as we wrap up today, I want to challenge you guys to try something new in your collection development work. And next week on October 27th during webinar 4, everyone will have a chance to celebrate and share what you did. And so we'll make sure to do that too. I'm going to put the code up, and this is to our bit.ly to our slides, or you could scan it. And as you're doing this, we also wanted to share that the winner is Erin Foz is the giveaway winner. So hopefully you're still here, Erin, and you win. And remember, everybody that comes to all 4 of them, you get to be in the grand prize winner, which we will pick next week too. So we're really excited about that. You can still register for our webinar next week. I'm so excited because I get to have my dear friend Amanda Hunt with me, and we're going to be sharing ideas and tips on running a library kids love. So it's going to be really fun. You can register at the link below. And then on this slide, you can find webinar 1 and 2. And so the slides and recording are in both of the images. You can just click there. And at the site where you register, you can also find the recordings on that now too. So Capstone has them all in one place. And then one thing I wanted to leave you with, if you haven't seen this yet, Pebbletown. For those of you who have Pebble Go or Capstone Interactive eBooks, this is going to be so much fun. And you can join Pebbletown at this link below. and they just opened it up. They're welcoming new residents, and I can't even wait. I started telling my teachers about it today, and it's just going to be so much fun. And so check that out at the link below. And please feel free if you have any questions to reach out to me. I also blog at the Library Voice. I have a newsletter where I share lots of these ideas and other things from Capstone that we want to celebrate. And just really grateful for you, Jenny and Jamie, for joining me, and all of you. I hope that you enjoy your week, and I thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Shannon. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a great week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.